This program is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is Home Talk USA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the inventor lady, Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world as Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the inventor lady, Rita Crompton.
Welcome, America. I want to welcome all of my Home Talk USA radio listeners. That's now switching to hour number 2, the Invent America part of the Home Talk USA family, where we talk to inventors and entrepreneurs. And for those of you that's switching over to this show, we want to thank SureCan, and we want to thank Paintworks, two great startup companies that's really are really making a difference in our lives. And we want to thank Greg Worley with Paintworks and Brad Artikirk with SureCan. And we're going to try to get them on the Invent America show. And they got some great information to provide to us also. But it's all about education, information. And right now I'd like to welcome my sidekick, the inventor lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Rita, how you been doing this week?
Just fine, and I love being your sidekick. You're awesome.
Well, a lot going on. We're starting to get, all these great inventors. We're talking to them and sharing their stories, and some of these stories are really amazing. And so what this segment of Invent America is going to be about this week?
Well, this one is going to be about helping inventors understand it's more than just the patent. And, we always used to laugh and say, the inventor's original business plan was have idea, get patent, make money. And so when I get inventors early on that say, it's just so expensive to get a patent, then, okay, we need to put some parameters around that for our inventors on what is real and what is crazy.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing today. It's not about just getting the patent and you're going to make money, but there's a lot of times when I get an inventor, it's like, well, I've spent, I had $50,000 to do all this and I spent it all on the patent. It's like, well, for goodness sakes, find a different attorney. And right. So, I've run into that several times, but, for the inventors that are on today, it's about, okay, the hard work started after the patent issued.
Yeah. Well, I remember 3 weeks ago we did a show, a topic on the product itself, and the person was already finished, ready to put the product on the market, and then all of a sudden they were hit with a $5 million product liability policy that they needed. And it kind of reminded me, because the last hour, Mr. Brad Artikirk with SureCan, he's the one that developed that gasoline camp that's easy to, disperse gasoline and petrol products. But the point I'm making is the government agencies that's involved in that, OSHA and the EPA and the California this. I mean, so it kind of reminded me of that show we did about 3 weeks ago that thank God he was aware of all this, because that can really, really stop a young inventor, because they didn't get all that information, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's crazy how, all of a sudden, and one of the inventors I was talking to this morning, and he said, so what's next? And I said, well, it's really finding out whether or not the consumer, getting the product to a shelf, all right, is the consumer willing to pay that much difference for your product because they've got something that's much less expensive right there. And it may not do the job quite as well as yours is doing it, but if there's a big price difference, they're going to say, no, you know what? I'm going to take the easy road and the less expensive road because that improvement is not enough. Well, only the inventor with some, good dose of reality, can make the right business decisions. But if they don't know, Michael, what the questions are, they don't come up with the right answers.
Well, tell us about our guest today.
All right. So our first guest today is Pam Fibgus. I have known her for a long, long time. She is the inventor of the Hang 'em Straight flagpole. And the decorator flags, you miss part of the decoration because they're hanging at an angle. Well, for her, her invention, the Hang 'em Straight means they hang down straight. I love it. I use them at the hardware show all the time. And the funny part is that her father built the first prototype for her because she kept complaining about her flags always hanging crazy. But I'm going to let her tell about that and how they came up with it because she was actually holding them together with ponytail ties. So, those first prototypes, we talk about duct tape, cardboard, Legos, whatever you got handy. And she had ponytail ties. So anyway, Pam is our first guest. She does have products, so they are in the marketplace, and people can go and find them. They're really easy to use, and they're great because it's wonderful to see those beautiful designs that you paid so much money for.
Yeah. And you said you have Ron Matson, too?
Ron Matson is going to be on. He invented the trenching shovel, and it's called the Blue Viper Trenching Shovel. I've known Ron for quite a while as well. He is manufacturing, and both of them have, experiences on how difficult the marketing part is, how difficult the manufacturing is to move then the product. And, like they said, the patent was the easy part.
Wow. Well, you sound like you got a big show planned for us. Any breaking news that we need to know about? Anything else happening?
Well, we've got trade shows coming up, and we are getting excited about getting some new things for our show, our big show that comes up at the National Hardware Show. And I am working to get a guest on that is actually then representing the National Hardware Show. So we've got an expert to talk to about these, different shows that are coming up. How do you pick a great trade show? And for some inventors, it's like, no, don't go to that one. Go to this one over here. But again, understanding the risks, the reward of all the different options out there is really critical for our inventors. So we are going to do our absolute best to bring them good reality check information. And then the fun stuff, being able to, how do you pick a name? And I can say, do it like this. And they go, oh, that sounds like a good time. So we're going to talk about how do you name a product so that people can find it.
Wow.
And do it the right way. So we got a lot of really fun topics coming up.
Now, let me do this now. Now, we're going to, at the top of the hour, our last segment, we're also going to be giving information that if you have a product and you want to get it on the show and the process also, right?
That's right. If you go to inventorlady.com, it's right there on the page. It says, would you like to be a guest? And you fill out the form, and within just a few seconds of hitting the submit button, it drops into my email box.
Wow. All right, well, dance some music. We're going to come back. You're listening to the Invent America show of the Home Talk USA family right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network, streaming live on the World Wide Web. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back. Yay, with our first guest.
to Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor lady, Rita Crompton.
Yeah, welcome back to the only home improvement show dedicated to you, the American consumer. This is Invent America, part of the Home Talk USA radio family, where me and the Inventor lady herself, Rita Crompton, we talk to different entrepreneurs, inventors, to try to help them, kind of like give them a blueprint to get their product to market. And but Rita, we have Michael Miller on, right? Tell us a little bit about Michael.
Well, I have known Michael for years, and we met at the National Hardware Show and working on a product called Disposal Genie. We had Terry on about a week ago. Talked about the Disposal Genie and everything. We worked on that with Michael, getting it into the Home Depot. So he has been a product expert for a long, long time in a variety of industries. So, Michael, thank you for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me on.
So one of the things that you and I have both run into is the inventor thinking that, that first huge expense is going to be the patent, and once they get done with that, it's all downhill after that. So, does a patent equal money? And I don't mean money going out. I mean, does a patent equal money coming in?
Actually, a very, very good question. What's interesting is actually the Patent Office put out some information here a number of years ago regarding that, which was that basically 98% of all patents that are filed never make more money than the cost of filing that patent. So right off the bat, that lets you know that there's an awful lot of patents out there that do not make people money. And really what needs to be done before they file for a patent, of course, is just really that you have to do your research. That really is the key. And we've talked about this many times. Yeah,
we have. And I've had some conversations recently about, how inventors can, do some of their own market research. And it's like, no, you don't go out and hire a firm to do it. These are steps that you need to take. You need to look somebody in the eye and be able to ask them the questions. Would they use this product? And you start gathering now that hard information because you need to see it.
Yeah, I mean, and it can be something as simple as talking to your local Ace Hardware store manager even, and saying, hey, can I set out a table out here in front of your store, and I've got some prototypes here, and I just want to ask people their opinion. And you know what? A lot of Ace Hardware stores will actually let you do something like that. And that information is just absolutely invaluable to help you in the design and development of your product.
Why do you think that so many of the inventors believe that the patent is going to be the hardest and the most expensive? Why have we not gotten a better word out to let them know it's like that is just the first step, and it's not necessarily the most expensive step?
That's absolutely right, and I think it's because of all the different phases of inventing. You have knowledge in those different areas. If you're an engineer, if you're a homeowner that owns a particular, you're replacing and repairing things. But the thing that a lot of people don't have knowledge on is the patent process and how that works. And in a sense, you're turning that over to somebody else, in many cases an attorney or someone. And so it's real easy to think that, I've turned that over, it's done perfectly, and that will help me in selling of this product. And they tend to have a hands-off approach to it, when really you need to have a hands-on approach, and you need to be really involved in that patent and that patenting process as an inventor.
Well, and that's
really do.
Pam, our first guest today, said something very similar. She said, well, I thought it was easy because I handed it off and they did it and the patent issued. And she said, but now I have to do the marketing and the selling, and I'm a teacher. So that's not my sweet spot. And so, she has really, keeps pushing and pushing. So I've got to give her credit for her tenacity to keep it up. But that is the harder part for sure.
Well, and I think programs like this really help people out to understand what are the different facets of not just inventing, but then bringing a product to market. Very, very different skill sets. But you as an entrepreneur and as a small business owner, which basically you become whenever you do come up with a new product, you have to become knowledgeable in all of these different areas.
Mike, I'm going to have to cut you off.
That's what's really key.
Mike, we got to cut you off.
Problem.
There's the music. Mike, how can we reach you? How can we reach Michael? Rita?
Send me an email or go to the website. We're getting his information posted on the website under the expert.
All right,
category.
I like that. Michael Miller, thanks for being our guest, my buddy. We got to run.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a short break here at the Invent America Show. When we come back, we got breaking news right here. As always support your local independent hardware stores and garden centers. And let's pledge to hire a vet today. I'm the Cajun man from the Bayou Land, the originator not to duplicate, along with my sidekick, the inventor herself, Rita Crompton. We're going to be right back. Yay!